Kevin Jackson Radio Show.
What's up, America? It is Kevin Jackson time. The Kevin Jackson Show, KJRadio.com. Glad you guys are with me. Always excited to talk to you. Even when I'm not feeling well, I still like talking to you. And I wish we had more interaction, that I could, listen to you as you respond back to the radio, or you chuckle or pull over, because I get your messages. You tell me what you're doing. Kevin, man, you rocked it. It was so funny. I had to do whatever. Or maybe you disagree. It's okay. Either way, contact us, KJRadio.com. It's funny. I'll send a message back and people go, Kevin, you actually do respond back like you say. I do. I respond back. I may not respond back in 2 minutes, but I'll respond back. And if you call the show, we'll take your call. We'll play your calls. Sometimes we have one lady, she calls me 3, 4, 5 times a day. We can't, get back to all of that, but we will try to address your topic, your concern, whatever. Because you know what? This is your show. I don't know how most radio hosts feel. I don't feel like this is my show. I feel like I come on here and I speak for you. I really do. Look, we can differ at times, and I know there are times when you're like, Kevin, you're not speaking for me right now. I get it. We don't always agree. But I bet you a lot of the time I speak for you. I was on Tucker Carlson talking about the DREAM Act and the fact that the NAACP is wanting to sue President Trump over the DREAM Act, and I've talked about it on the show already. But if you saw, I said the same thing on my radio show as what I said on Tucker. I said President Trump should sue not only the NAACP, he should sue Barack Obama, all the complicit bourgeois white cocktail sipping leftists who are complicit in stealing the dreams of American citizens. There is no such thing as a dreamer outside of this country. The dreamers are in America. When you get here, legally, if you're born here, you're dreaming. America, we have the American dream. We have the patent on the American dream. It isn't the North American dream. It's the American dream. There is no Chinese dream, no German dream, no Russian dream. You'll never hear anybody talk about that. Oh, we have the Dubai dream. You have no other dream but the American dream. Everybody knows it. Go on, be jealous. Go on, be jealous, world. If I were Donald Trump, I would have said to the UN, hey, is this thing on? Where's other countries' dreams? Their citizens don't. Their citizens, the only citizens they have that just say, I don't care about the United States, are the filthy rich over there. Everybody else longs to get here. I have never heard an American say, I long to live in Greece. I long to live in Germany or whatever. They may say, I'm going to live in Germany for a little bit. They may say, I certainly would love to visit Greece and see where Archimedes did his work or whatever, but they don't want to be, they ain't no dream in Greece. Please. Not unless you cook a chicken in it. Then I'll dream about it. But nobody cares about the Greek dream. The Greek dream said nobody, but Kevin Jackson talking about the lack thereof, right? There's no such thing. Come on now. Preaching up here. We're going to have a fun show, aren't we? We're geared up. I have a bit of a headache. I'm not going to lie. I have a bit of a headache. Worked out hard. Yeah, worked out hard yesterday. Well, I haven't done my workout today, but I will. I'll get it in. Lots of pain, man. Ooh, muscles. I'm getting old. Getting cranky and old. But anyway, let me get back to this dream. So, we got these leftists that are stealing the dreams of, look at it. I could tell you that they're stealing the dreams of young blacks. They're not. I mean, they are, but they're stealing the dreams of much more. They've broadened the tent. They're stealing the dreams of young whites. You have white privilege. You better calm yourself down, white person, and don't stop achieving too much. Disregard what your family has done. They're stealing white kids' dreams. They're stealing white parents' dreams by stealing the children's. They're taking over the children's. They're telling their white kids, hey, you have privilege. And the white privileged kids are coming back home. Mommy and daddy, shame on you for having a whole family and treating us all with respect and having Thanksgiving and Christmas and grandma and grandpa and holidays and vacations and things like that. For shame. I'm ashamed of my privilege. Hey, white parents, I'm available if you need me. And I have 4 sons. You know, what are you talking about? Give me the opportunity to be raised in like Kaepernick, right? if I could, I mean, my mom died and my grandparents adopted me and I love them to death. But I'm just saying, if the Kaepernicks had said, hey, we'll take them, I would have looked at my grandmother and said, it's okay. You know, come on. Could have been playing in the NFL and I wouldn't be taking a knee. I'm just saying, what are y'all talking about here? We're talking about nonsense. And the craziness of it, the craziness is we've got the Dreamers suing President Trump. How do you come to a country, however you got here illegally, doesn't matter. How do you come to a country and then say, I'm going to sue the top dog? I mean, you know, leftism has gone completely bananas. When you come to a country and you say, I'm going to sue the top dog, I'm illegal. I shouldn't even be here. Kim Jong-un, you wouldn't even get, I'd like to bullet in the head. Kim Jong-un would kill you if you came to North Korea. I mean, not that anybody would, but if you went to North Korea talking about, give me my freedom, Kim Jong-un would look at you like you had 3 heads. Unbelievable what we allow. And then the NAACP. What about these morons? These people got enough on their plate dealing with black folks, colored people, and they want to deal with Hispanics, and we want to help the dreamers because the dreamers need their dream. Martin Luther King said, I have a dream, and he was including the Mexicanos, the Latinos. No, I don't think so. I don't think Martin Luther King would said, please translate my speech into Spanish. Martin Luther King had a dream for black folks, and it's being squandered. And you know, the sad part is, it's not black people. I mean, it is black leftists that are squandering it, but it is the white leftist establishment that is treating us like children, black people like kids, patronizing, embarrassingly so. And we're allowing it. I tell you what, let's just dumb it down for you little black people with affirmative action and stuff, and we'll make it all work out great for you. So what, you won't have jobs? So what, you don't have families? So what, you don't dream anymore? You have no imagination. It's okay. It's all good. Anyway, we got a ton to talk about today, folks. Trump was called a threat to the democracy. Do you know who said this about Donald Trump? I'll tell you in just a bit. The Electoral College. Terrible idea, right? Maybe not.
This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.
Do you owe back taxes to the IRS or state? The secret to avoiding the IRS nightmare is to seek professional representation. My friends at Security Tax Associates provide the most cost-effective and ethical representation in the industry while helping to avoid seizures, levies, and wage garnishments. Security Tax Associates is here to ensure that the appropriate steps are taken to permanently eliminate any possibility of future tax burdens once and for all. For a free, no-obligation consultation, contact Security Tax Associates, 844-779-4177. That's 844-779-4177. 844-779-4177. Or visit them at securitytaxassociates.com.
Beth Cook Moranville, author of Closer Than Your Breath, a book of hope.
Hope, that wonderful, wonderful 4-letter word that you may feel completely out of. I wrote this book to give you great hope. It's not too late. If fetal position is an all too familiar place for you, I understand. If the next 60 seconds are too long, this book is for you. Wherever you are right now, whether you're dealing with divorce or death or sickness, take hope. You are going to make it through this pain. Don't roll your eyes. I've walked this road and I know it. The best is yet to come.
Closer Than Your Breath, a book of hope from author and speaker Beth Cook Moranville, can be found on Amazon.com or Kindle.com. For more information, visit closerthanyourBreath.com or on Facebook at Closer Than Your Breath.
Jackson Radio Show.
Welcome, everybody. Kevin Jackson here. It's the Kevin Jackson Show. KJRadio.com. It's where you can contact us. 844-551-8255. Barack Obama called Donald Trump a threat to our democracy. Can you believe that? The sitting president of the United States, duly elected by millions of people, over 60 million folks, and the former president, the community organizer, failed attorney, failed state rep, failed senator, failed president, calls Donald Trump a threat to the democracy. The same Barack Obama, who's done nothing successful in life except sell the concept of Barack Obama, the Barack Obama who used the intelligence community to target Donald Trump, calls him a threat to democracy. I want you to think about everything that Barack Obama and his band of minions did in order to thwart this election. Yet we look at the Russians. It's become a joke, this whole Russian thing. And we're going to get into the Manafort stuff in a bit because Manafort's fighting back. I don't blame him. And you'll hear clips about this Manafort thing that'll have you scratching your head because you'll go, this makes no logical sense. But anyway, what we're dealing with here is a president who issued a FISA order to look into a presidential candidate that he dismissed, that he said with his own mouth, he's never going to be president. You recall this? Barack Obama assured the leftists in America, as he joked, that Trump would never be president. Do we have that clip?
President Obama will go down as perhaps the worst president in the history of the United States! Exclamation point at real Donald Trump. Well, at real Donald Trump, at least I will go down as a president.
So if I were Mueller, I'd be looking into how Barack Obama had so determined that Donald Trump would never be president of the United States. Is he looking into that? Yeah. Anyway, welcome back, everybody. Kevin Jackson here. It's the Kevin Jackson Show. I love looking at these clips of Obama and his just the bombastic nature of this man. And he's so full of himself. Just cracks me up to I mean, we review these clips from time to time. There was one where he called Donald Trump a BSer. Do you guys remember that? Yeah, he said Donald Trump is a BSer. We have the clip. Let's play that. You got that one? Let's play it.
People cover story is going inside the Obama's new life post-White House and revealing what the former First Lady and President really think about the current Trump administration. In the issue out Friday, the Obama's inner circle described their reaction as, quote, shock and awe. And two friends who spoke to Obama tell people that he described his election night conversation with Trump as him saying, quote, he's nothing but a BSer. And another friend close to Obama says, quote, Barack's deeply concerned with what he's seen, but he's also optimistic and heartened that citizens aren't just watching it happen, but engaging with elected representatives at town halls.
Yeah, Donald Trump is a BSer. He doesn't tell it like it. Let me tell you something. What do I tell you guys all the time? I tell you the left tell you who they are by what they call you. See, here's the thing. If you're a BSer, I don't really care. Most conservatives. So let's say you got a guy, he's full of crap. And somebody comes up and you're like, hey, what do you think about so-and-so? You usually just go, hey, whatever. He's an interesting guy. The reason why you say things like that is because you go, I'm not going to get into the mix of who are you or what do you think. It's rare that a conservative will tell you flat out, avoid that dude like the plague. Like there are a couple of people in this industry. There's a lady that comes on TV, or I'll just give you her first name. It's Dr. Gina. And she's the most full of crap conservative I've ever met in my life. Started out as a PR person working for me and worked harder on her own PR than she did for me. Trying to elevate herself, using anybody and everybody. pathologically so. She's a sociopath. And I'm not even exaggerating it. And she's one of the only people, if you ask me point blank who she is, I tell you who she is. Other than that, I go, hey, interesting person. You might like them, blah, 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 because I don't really care. For me to try to torpedo them, it's like, why? It's not even worth my time. So I usually go, you might find them interesting. Now, the reason why I say that is because, and I never do this intentionally. I've learned this over time. I've often said the things that I believe, and I think that this is just a human thing. You say subconsciously what it is you think you are. I believe I'm interesting. So I usually go, and I never noticed this. I'm being very honest with you. I never noticed it until I would say, leftists tell you who they are. Then it made me wonder, well, do we tell people who we are? So I wonder, what was my response? What's been my response when people, what do you think about so-and-so? I go, hey, man, you got to make up your own mind. But, hey, he's an interesting guy. And I leave it at that. Because maybe that's how I view myself. It's kind of a mirror. And so here's Barack Obama telling you Trump's a BSer. Let me think about the ramifications of a guy who's so full of crap, Barack Obama, having the nerve to say of a man who has made himself into a multi-billionaire icon, as well known as Barack Obama around the world. Trump, for decades, has been one of the most well-known names and brands. For decades. Prior to 2004, nobody knew who Barack Obama was. He had his little stint with fame through 2016, most of which from 2008 to 2016 wasn't good for his reputation. And now he wants to say, Trump, at post-election, Trump's a BSer. He BS'd his way into the public's eye, iconic TV show, iconic brand, iconic resorts and things like this, and then against all odds becomes president, and he says he's a BSer. Donald Trump said, I'll build a wall. He's going to build a wall. Donald Trump said, I'll save carrier and I'll do much better. I'll lower unemployment. I will spur business. What's he done? Exactly that. They told you the stock market would crater. If Donald Trump was elected, we're all going to die. It was doom and gloom. Donald Trump was president-elect, the stock market soared. And it's soared ever since, setting records after record on top of records, outperforming even gold for a bit. What else? He's looked at foreign policy and taken a hard stance on that. Just came back from the UN, probably one of the only presidents in the history of this country. And I don't know what Reagan said to the UN, so I can't speak for him. But one of the only ones that went there and said, America first. And by the way, it's okay if you want to be first. We won't hold it against you. Germany, Spain, Portugal, France, whatever. You want to be number one? Go for it. Game on, baby.
This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show. This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.
Welcome back, everybody. Kevin Jackson here. It's the Kevin Jackson Show. 844-551-8255. The biggest threat to the republic, not the democracy, the democratic republic that is America, just left the Oval Office. The second biggest threat looms in the very policies represented by that former president in the form of leftism that remains in this country. That is the biggest threat to America, and it is the biggest threat to the world. And people can say, Kevin, that's over the top, whatever. That sums it up. You're talking about a group that truly wants selective anarchy. They won't tell you this. The elitists want to fool the minions into believing that they are fighting for their rights. I defy you to tell me that Nancy Pelosi really cares about Mexicans coming into the United States. Pick any one of those politicians. Tell me whatever their issue is, and I will tell you, unless that issue involves them personally, like I want more money to go to cancer research. If a politician tells you that, you can bet your sweet behind they got cancer. Or it's impacted somebody in their family. It's like this comedian, Patrice O'Neill. You know what? Just play Patrice's clip because it'll make more sense in humor than I can even explain it.
I'm getting tired of famous people making me give money to the disease that they got. Yeah, whatever, right? And I don't mind that, but it's selfish. But be honest with your selfishness. What I'm saying is, okay, I'm diabetic. I have diabetes, but I'm going to try to be honest with you. If I didn't have diabetes, that wouldn't be the disease of my choice. Do you understand what I'm saying? So since I have diabetes, I want there to be a cure because I got it. Now, Michael J. Fox has Parkinson's disease, and that's terrible. But I just want him to be honest with his problem. I don't, because he's on TV every 5 minutes talking about how terrible the disease Parkinson's disease is. But I just want him to be honest with his selfishness. I want to ask him a question. I'm going to be like, hey, Mike, listen, I know you got Parkinson's disease, but what about cancer and AIDS? Aren't those important too? And I just want to see him go, yeah, they're important, but you know what? I ain't got that. So I'm not going to give money to something I don't have. If somebody famous don't have your disease, you are dead. You are finished.
Welcome back, everybody. Patrice O'Neill, rest his soul. I love comedians, especially guys like Patrice O'Neill. And that's why I write my comedy around reality. You know, Patrice O'Neill's keeping it real. What he said is exactly true. And I'm telling you folks, don't think of this in terms of celebrity disease. Think of this, the celebrity disease is politics. The politicians have the disease of politics, and that disease is infected with leftism. The body politic of America is infected with leftism, progressivism, whatever you want to call it. And the only objective, sole objective, look, don't get all anecdotal on me. Oh, Kevin, I know a politician and he really is concerned about the environment. It's whatever. I'm telling you, these guys will use any ruse to stay into power because the allure of power, the control of people, and the acquisition of wealth are the reasons that you do this. And that's why the framers said, look, leave your job and go to D.C. Don't get a check. You want to know why? Because if you ain't getting a check, you want to go home. But you know what we've done? We've fattened up a lot of frogs for a lot of snakes. And now politicians look at it as, you know what? The gravy train is in D.C. They love it. I call it Hollywood. I've heard of it. I use it all the time, but I call it Hollywood for ugly people. That's what it is. This is as good as it gets for these guys. Most of these guys and I've said this, guys and gals, were the ones who nobody really cared that much about in school. They were either the very pretentious little, sort of the Reese Witherspoon that got into Harvard type. You know that show, whatever that show was where she got into Harvard, but she's real prissy or they were the nerd on the chess club, or some crazy little obscure group in high school that people made fun of. Those are your politicians. The head of the football team, man, he was like, I got options. He could go work with his hands. He was a strong guy. He was, pretty bright. Football players are not dumb. Sports people are not dumb. He had options. These other people were like, I'm intellectual, but I don't know if I want to be a scientist, but I tell you what, I'll do politics. I get it. So we have these folks that now believe that, they matter. They matter more than you. They no longer represent you. And they can do whatever they want. Barack Obama knows. I mean, can you imagine him meeting with the White House attorney saying, now explain to me, FISA. Explain to me exactly how this FISA thing worked. and the wiretapping and, surveillance of people. Because he inherited that program from George Bush. Go look at the movie 0 Day. They got that program finished that spied on everybody in the world on Election Day of 2008, when the official president switched over. It was January of 2009 that the program ended, which cracks me up, because what they were essentially saying is, when the new president is elected, we have to start over, but we don't want to have our fingerprints on it that it's America. But it happens that it's on Inauguration Day. So we don't know who wrote the programs, that spies on everybody in the world. And by the way, this is what Snowden exposed. He realized, he thought Barack Obama was going to end it. Barack Obama put it on steroids. So Barack Obama sitting with the White House attorney and a group of other confidants. He's saying, explain, what you're trying to tell me is I can issue a FISA warrant, put somebody's name in the FISA thing, and nobody knows, because nobody can tell it, because if they tell it, they go to jail. So it's a system that allows for no checks and balances. And Barack Obama had Susan Rice issue FISA warrants on people, on Manafort, in advance. Knowing nothing on this man. There was an FBI investigation open on Manafort. Yeah. Okay, if you want to open an investigation and look into his tax policy, what he's doing with his business, that's one thing. How does that translate into, I'm going to open this thing up and expand it to Donald Trump and his holdings in Russia? Which, by the way, anybody with common sense knows there's nothing there. Because if there was something there, they would have found it. They've had enough time to look into Russia, they would have found it. But you know what? They're completely avoiding it at this point. They're running in circles. They've gone back to 2006 to look at Manafort's records. Let's play that clip.
Well, Anderson, Special Counsel Robert Mueller's investigators are reaching to 2006 in a probe that centers on tax and financial crimes of Paul Manafort. It's one indication of the pressure that Mueller's team is placing on the former Trump campaign chairman, and the broad time frame shows that Mueller's team is going well beyond Russian meddling during the campaign as part of the investigation of the Trump campaign associates. As we reported yesterday, Manafort has been the subject of an FBI investigation for years, including wiretaps, and he has emerged as a focal point for Mueller.
Let's stop it there. So he's a focal point for Mueller. Welcome back, everybody. Kevin Jackson here. He is a focal point for Mueller because Mueller has nothing else. 2006, a supposed investigation looking into Manafort, and how that translates into something involving Donald Trump is beyond me. And the reason is it doesn't. The left need a skin on the wall. And Manafort is it. They've looked at everybody. They've looked at Kushner. They've looked at Junior. They've created people and had to retract stories of, it was Corey so-and-so, or it was Stephen this, and had to go, we're sorry. It was misinformation, wrong, completely erroneous stuff. Then they actually said Donald Trump actually contacted Russia to potentially build a building in Moscow. Really? A builder? Wanting to build a building in Moscow? I'm shocked. Certainly there's a conspiracy there. This is how crazy things have gotten on the left, folks. So Manafort, and we're going to talk about this. I'm going to thread it throughout the show, because that keeps you guessing as to when I'm going to talk about it. But we're going to come back to this because Manafort's fighting back in clever ways. I'm not going to be a spoiler on this, but I want to go back to the idea that Trump is the threat, but Barack Obama exposes people. They call it unmasking them, using his minions to do it. He hides behind it. Then he runs off to Billionaire Island and pretends he's a good guy. The left know that he's not, and so they know this is also about Hillary Clinton and others.
Kevin Jackson on the Black Sphere Radio Network.
Do you owe back taxes to the IRS or state? The secret to avoiding the IRS nightmare is to seek professional representation. My friends at Security Tax Associates provide the most cost-effective and ethical representation in the industry while helping to avoid seizures, levies, and wage garnishments. Security Tax Associates is here to ensure that the appropriate steps are taken to permanently eliminate any possibility of future tax burdens once and for all. For a free, no-obligation consultation, contact Security Tax Associates, 844-779-4177. That's 844-779-4177. 844-779-4177. Or visit them at securitytaxassociates.com.
Putting an end to identity politics. This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.
Welcome back, everybody. Kevin Jackson here. It's Kevin Jackson Show, author of Race Pimping, the multi-trillion-dollar business of liberalism, and that can be applied to many things that the left does, and you need to be aware of it. If you want to check out my book, that's great. Go to racepimping.com, but it's bigger than that. I want you to think about this. When you think